Hi, I will now talk about Triton substitutions. So basically, in fact, the relation between what we call Triton subs and the altered scale. Let's see. The Triton sub is when you take a dominant chord, say G7, and you replace it by the dominant chord a triton apart, a flat fifth apart, or a sharp fourth apart. Here D flat 7. They both have in common the 7, sorry an octave too low, the 7 and the 3rd. As you see, the 7, the flat 7 of G is the 3rd of D flat, and the 3rd of G is the flat 7 of B flat, of a D flat, sorry. So because of that, this being a very unstable interval, once the interval is played, heard, we tend to forget the other notes around this interval as long as it resolves. And usually the resolution would go either to C major or C minor. Of course, there is other possibilities, but let's stick to the simplest way. Okay, so what's in common with that? First, once I'm thinking about the D flat 7 in the context of the key of C, I'll be talking also about the G7 altered. Both have the same scale. Both are built over the melodic minor sound of A flat minor. For D flat 7, we're using the 4th mode of A flat melodic minor. That's called the Lydian dominant. And for G altered, we're using the 7th mode of A flat minor, and we call that one the altered scale. Usually, to find the important sounds in a scale, we spread it in thirds, and then you find this way the different extensions. You know, if I go, let's say, like this, and take a major chord, like that C major, let's say C major 7, sharp 11. In this case, I have 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, sharp 11, and 13. So we can do that with minor, with dominant chords, and whatnot. But let's say we take the example of G altered. So for G altered, the scale would be this. Okay, I'll make it in flat, like this. We'll go, and this goes for G7 altered. For this scale, if I would write the extension starting on a G, and then move my way up by skipping a note. G, B flat, D flat, F, A flat, B, and so on. So as you can see, those sounds don't sound dominant. Actually, you get a minor 3rd. In there it sounds like a G minor 7 flat 5. Why is that? Because when I look at an altered chord, in fact, to find the extension, I will be looking instead of G altered, I'll be looking at D flat 7 with G on the bass. So I'm looking at the extension of the Triton sub, so the altered scale, when it comes down to find the most common sound to use when you play it, it's to use the Triton sub chord. So on G altered, I'll think of D flat 7, and then I'll get again the same scale, but starting on D flat. sorry, I'm doing that on my keyboard as I go, putting that in flats like this. I guess I could go here finale and make favorite flats. Okay, for update. Okay, now I got this scale, which is the same scale, the fourth mode of A flat melodic minor. But now if I use the extension from that chord, like this, where I'm going from 1 to the 13th, using the sharp 11, the G natural, those are the sounds that I'll be using when I'm thinking about improvising over the G altered or the D flat 7. And if you look at this, in this sound, here in blue, this bar, if I start from the F, I'm looking in there for different triads, and that would help me to play more melodically over the chord, you know. For instance, of course I got D flat, F, and A flat. That gives me a D flat triad. But one more common triad that is used is starting on the 5th here, that A flat minor triad. And if I do add the F, I end up to have A flat minor with the 6th. Then I got the sharp 11 and the 9th. A common sound that's created using that extension is to think in fact of the A flat minor, but then you add the 9th and the 6th. You put it in 8 notes so it fits in the bar. So this is a 4 or 5 note scale, a pentatonic, because there is 5 notes. So here I had the A flat minor arpeggio, a triad, and here I got the A flat minor 6, 9 pentatonic. So this pentatonic would be used a lot over both the D flat and the G altered. So much that often we can talk about some kind of rule where we say when you have over altered chords, outline the minor, like the minor 6-9 pentatonic, 1 semitone up. Okay, so over G you play A flat minor 6-9, you know, and you do, say, D altered would be E flat, and then when you have a dominant chord that don't resolve to 1, to its 1. For instance, you have a D flat 7, the 1 would be either G flat major or G flat minor. If it does not resolve there, then you'll use the minor sound 1/5 up of that chord. For instance, if I have D flat 7 resolving to C major, the D flat does not resolve to its 1, so here I'll start playing using the sound of A flat minor, often 6-9. Not all the time, but it does help to find a lot of melodic ideas. That would work in different contexts. If I have like a B flat 7 resolving to C major, often I'll use F minor, again a 5th up, 6-9, over that sound. When it resolves to another chord, then it's 1. The 1 of the B flat, in this case, would have been E flat, so now we are resolving to C. So this generates a lot of melodic material, you know, that I can use when I see an altered chord or a Triton sub. So in other words, it's when you play an altered chord, you are doing a Triton sub. Or if you are doing a Triton sub, you are in fact playing the altered scale. So they're connected, you know. They both sound the same. If the chords say you have a piece of music that says G altered to C, if the bass plays a D flat without telling anyone, it will sound like a D flat 7. And vice versa, if it says D flat to C, if the bass starts playing a G, it will sound like G altered. So both those sounds are connected, and that's it for this explanation. I hope it helped. Okay, take care. Bye bye.